So it's been a minute, about a day and a half since I posted a video. So we got action with Anthony and Amber and Victor. So let's talk about it. This is gonna be a multiple episode, and we gonna touch on Amber, Victor, and Anthony. So as y'all know, in the last video we talked about how Amber and Victor had their little breakfast, and she almost became his dessert and things like that. So um, Anthony busted over Amber house when she was there, and well, I know it's their house, but Victor had came and pick her up so they can go get coffee, I guess. And Anthony, he just been popping up over there now. So to his surprise, when he pulled up, he seen Amber getting in the car with Victor, and Amber was just looking so frazzled. And I'm like, girl, this is your moment to have that petty face on and get to doing what it do. So she's standing there all flustered. Hey, Anthony, what are you doing here? Meanwhile, Victor's standing there like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here? So Anthony was like, who is this? And she was like, my friend Victor. And then Victor standing there like, oh yeah, had on his little shirt, his little, he was dressed down, some little, looked like some basketball shorts, I guess, a little t-shirt and some tennis shoes. Anthony is referring to him, to Dalen, as he looked like Aquaman. But anyway, we're gonna jump into that in a minute. So Amber introduced him as her friend, and Anthony asking 1,000 questions, because when Victor said something, Victor got that accent. So Anthony was like, huh? And then he spoke again. And then at that point, Anthony was like, oh, okay, where are you from? And Amber was like, Europe. And at this point, Anthony was looking like, So he was just being real, real, real extra, trying to ask 1,000 questions. Where y'all going? Amber was like, a business meeting. This is, we discussing business. And so he was like, what kind of business do you have? And Victor was like, training. I think he said a gym or something like that. And Anthony was like, a gym? Oh, I'm into the gym too, trying to ask all these questions. And Amber was like, what do you need, Anthony? He was like, I just came to, check on things. She was like, I told you to call first. Next thing you know, Amber was like, well, we got to go. When I tell y'all how fast Anthony got in that car, it was so funny how fast he got on that car. He skirted off. Like, it was the funniest thing ever. So then that's how they went off. Anthony then goes and tells Dalen. So of course Dalen was like, "What? Amber ain't got no man. Amber ain't got no boyfriend." And Anthony was like, "Nah, she had this dude over there. He kind of had a little accent. Amber said she went to Spain. Do you think that, what I'm saying, maybe it was with him?" And I'm kind of getting these conversations. So like I said, I'm covering a lot of episodes in this one. So Anthony ended up telling, I think he told Chase about Victor, and he also told Dalen. So Dalen was like, "Oh, you jealous, huh?" And he was like, "No, I ain't jealous." And he was like, "Man, how you gonna act like that? You got a whole girl and a whole baby." And he was like, "No, I'm just saying." He was like, "Oh, it's because she over there just talking to somebody else." He was like, "Do you blame her?" And Anthony was like, "Oh yeah, he kind of looked like the man off Aquaman." So at this point, I know Anthony's intimidated, because at this point, why are you running to Dalen? Then he was all like, "Yeah, you think Amber went out of town with this guy trying to fish for information? Like, just leave it alone." So in that part, you could tell Anthony was really, really, really bothered. Like, he not used to seeing Amber with nobody. And Dalen was like, "What you expect for her to do? Wait around for you?" He was like, "No. Like, your actions are not giving you want to get back with Amber." He was all like, "Well, we doing counseling." He was like, "Going to counseling, it does not mean nothing. Like, she agreed to talk to you about it." So then we jump back to Amber and Victor. So Victor, he was feeling some type of way because Amber introduced him as her friend. And she was like, "Victor, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to introduce you that way. I had to. I'm still married." Now, first and foremost, I'm for Amber and Victor kicking it or whatever, but he gotta understand that she is still married and she is going through a divorce. He was all like, "So now he's your husband. I thought he was your ex-husband." She was like, "I'm still married to him. We are not divorced yet." Like, I know for a fact he really, really feeling Amber. And based on that conversation right there, I know she really, really feeling him. Like, at what point is Victor gonna slow his roll? They was almost headed to she was almost headed to get some of that Spanish loving. So she continued to apologize to him. I'm so sorry, Victor. You mean more to me than just my friend. She giving pretty much he giving this man mixed signals. But at this point, the way they kicking it, that's what it is, y'all. Like, I'm here for Amber and Victor, but I definitely need Victor to slow his roll. So then we have then Anthony Chase came over there. And of course, Chase was all like, he told him about Victor and Amber, and Chase all like, maybe it's one of them 90-day fiance things. Maybe he need a green card, or maybe she met him and brought him back. It was the funniest thing ever, cause when Anthony came over, I can't remember what Chase came over there for, but he ended up mentioning to Anthony that he had not seen Kai. He was like, "Oh, this your baby?" He was like, "Yeah, this my son." And he was looking at him, and he looked at Anthony, and he ended up holding the baby. He was like, "Anthony, your daddy." He was like, he didn't respond back, "That ain't your daddy." They so stupid together. But Anthony ended up running his mouth to Chase. Like, you really pressed about Amber just moving and shaking. Like, again, she not gonna wait around for you. Like, she out here living her best life, and I'm definitely here for it. So Chase was like, man, you just never know. So then I feel like Amber gonna have to really sit down and talk to Victor, because at this point, Victor, like, I can't. So then again, Amber back at home, Anthony comes over there, asks her, um, is Victor who she went to Spain with? I'm like, this man is fishing for information. And she was like, no, but why does it matter? He was like, I just want to know, are you dating him? She was like, no, and why does it matter? So then she flipped him on. Where's Shayla at? How's Shayla doing? You still with Shayla? When I tell y'all, she ate him up with that comeback. All he could do was just stand there. So then he started making little speaking in Spanish, singing "Living la Vida Loca." Like, you could tell he's so pressed about Amber moving on, and I like the fact that he feeling like that, cause yeah, Victor is looking really swirlish, looking pretty much, yeah, go Amber, go. So again, I know it was a lot in this episode, but I'm so glad that, like, Anthony could see that Amber is out there doing Amber. Like, she said, and if I want to date who, like, anyway. So then the last part is that Amber told Brittany that Anthony had confronted her about Victor. And Brittany was like, if you're going to mess around with Victor, you got to move slowly, because what is the chance? What if Anthony get a private investigator? We cannot have you out here, having your little rendezvous with Victor, and then it jeopardize a divorce. She was like, well, he had a whole baby and a whole. She was like, it don't matter. He can prove that you was trying to have some infidelity, and then it just be messed up like that. But what y'all think about this? Like, I know I had a lot of episodes in one, but baby, I am here for Amber, and I am here for Victor, and I'm here for Anthony getting his feelings hurt. But yeah, let me know how y'all feel about this, baby. I am here for this. Like, it's about to unfold, and it's gonna be some drama. Anthony, and I don't think Baby Kai is his, but we'll talk about that in the next episode recap.